That's sourdough Sam.
No, Sourdeath Sam.
Sourdeath Sam. Sourdeath Sam.
Sourdeath Sam.
Disrespect to Sourdeath Sam will not continue.
What the fuck is up, everyone?
Yes, sir.
What the fuck is up? Hold on, where the fuck is my applause button? There it is. What's up, everybody? What's up? We are live from fucking New York right now. In case you didn't notice, this tall motherfucker is Jason motherfucking Aponte. Thank you for coming through, man. I really appreciate it.
When the gang's in town, you got to make sure that you show out. That's it. It's always in Philadelphia, but the gang is in Brooklyn right now.
The gang is in Brooklyn, and like in the weirdest side of Brooklyn. Like I usually spend all my time like, there's like the Brooklyn that's hella close to Manhattan, and that's the Brooklyn I keep going to, like maximum gentrification. And then this one's the one that's closest to Coney Island. And this one's got, I fuck with this side a little. Like the only thing that's bad about this side is that everyone else is hella far from you.
A little bit. I mean, this was only, it was a 30-minute ride for me, but the question that I wanted to ask you is like, everybody always talks about Coney Island being inactive in the winter, but the Warriors have been defending this territory the entire time. Not the Golden State Warriors, the Warriors themselves.
Warriors, come out to
play.
Hold on, let me make sure. Comments, can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear us? Are we in a sauna? No, but we are kind of in a sex dungeon. My laptop is sitting, all right, true story. So first of all, let me know if you can hear us in the comments, because otherwise we're gonna be talking to nobody. I see audio levels, I think we're good. Just let me know. So this Airbnb was booked, and it's billed as like a romantic Airbnb. And we're like, sick. It's got a little sauna. It actually does have a sauna. It's like got a sauna, got a massage bed. That's a vibe.
Everybody can hear us.
What's up?
They can hear us.
All right, sick.
Yeah.
So we go upstairs, and there's like sex toys galore. First of all, there's like a sex set. My laptop is sitting on a sex saddle. Is it not?
It is.
Confirmed for the audience.
It is. Yes, sir.
We're like handing down like fucking like what's the word I'm looking for? Like not the straps.
A swing.
No, not this. I wish.
Oh.
It's like straps and shit. Anyways, when it's gonna be a vibe up here with Jason and I when we get off live. But first of all, I want to know, how was your motherfucking holidays?
It was great, man. Unfortunately, Avery was sick for a little bit, but she's fine. I was able to, open up some gifts with her, which is important. Christmas is for the kids. I don't buy gifts for adults.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
If you're an adult, you're
sir.
not getting a gift from me. So, like, I just made sure to take care of who it needs to be taken care of. But Avery was good, and then we did New Year's, her and I together. And she had some sparkling cider. Everything was cool. It was
Nice.
great. Yeah.
The champagne for children.
100%.
They love that shit. When I was a kid, I used to be so hyped off the sparkling cider.
Mm-hmm.
Were you the same?
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, like in, and again, I don't know, cultural differences, Latin households, 12 o'clock, you're not leaving that place till 4 a.m. So as a kid, you've got to like load up on sugar if you want to make it. Otherwise, you're going to be laying on a pile of coats. And somebody just picks you up and takes you out.
Hell yeah.
So the cider works because it has a ton of sugar. It feels like alcohol, and you feel like you're part of the vibe because everyone else there is drunk. So.
And if you're an adult, you still run the risk of just falling asleep on a pile of coats.
And
being carried out.
I mean, that happened to me last Thursday.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Well, first of all, I'm once again super happy to have you here. And I'm glad Avery's doing better.
Yep.
It means a lot. Care about you and your family. But you know what else I care about is the motherfucking number one
Yes,
seed.
sir.
49ers.
Yes, sir.
We did it a game early. We're showing up against the Rams, figuring out who we can let rest because we have accomplished things early. Before we get into that, though, I need to talk some business. Look, we are in New York. You can put money on games. I've been putting money on games. Luckily, there's a little loophole in California that lets you fuck with Underdog. I don't really announce their name that much because they still need to sponsor me, which they haven't.
No, we're getting that done. We're in Brooklyn. Underdog is based in Brooklyn. Hold on, we gotta make this shirt. We gotta fix this shit.
I
out, man.
emailed them and was like, "Hey, I've got this YouTube channel. I would really like to." And
No, we gotta fix this out. We're gonna get this fixed.
Yeah, I hope so. Because Underdog, I love you unless you don't sponsor me, and then we have differences. But in the meantime, let's talk about betting. All right, motherfuckers, it's time to lose. It's time for me to lose some money again. I hit like one parlay. I was close to a second, haven't hit it yet. So don't take my advice, really. If anything, use my code bit.ly/Sourdeath Sam to bet the opposite of what I'm betting. That would probably be your most sage advice. In this case, it's the last game of the regular season, so I'm going just full fucking blitzkrieg, just every spicy hot touchdown I could get. Jonathan Taylor, I got him getting a touchdown. He was on my fantasy team. He was pretty consistent. I got him getting a tutty. Jared Goff, I got him throwing an interception. I'm not going to lie. He tends to do that.
Are the Lions playing for anything?
I don't know. Hopefully an interception.
I mean, he's got to like throw the football like a little bit to do that. I'm not sure. Again, week 18 is just chaos. I had a friend hit me up and say, I'm in my fantasy league championship. Why are you in a week 18 fantasy championship? Just get out of that league. What are you doing?
Yeah,
it was last week.
For real. Like, that's how you sabotage your opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, I'm proud to say that I won third place in my league. Thank you. And that means I got $50 more than I put into the league. So eat shit, fourth place and below. Brian Robinson Jr., I got him getting a touchdown. Nico Collins, I got him getting more than 5.5 receptions.
That's pretty easy, I think.
I think so too. That was actually probably...
And that's a winner-take-all game.
Yeah, I felt pretty confident with that one.
That one's
so, Chuba Hubbard, I got him getting a tutty. Man, Chuba Hubbard, all right, first of all, I need to give you credit. So, hold on. I'm going to shut the fuck up. bit.ly/Sourdeath Sam. You want to make money? You want to be rich in this world? Bet. Bet money. But bet responsibly.
Bet what you're only willing to lose.
Bet only what you're willing to lose. But fucking just do it, dude. I'm like going to go to jail for this.
Yeah.
Bet responsibly. Only bet what you can lose. I'm serious.
Yes.
Especially you, viewer. Look, I think Chuba Hubbard was a pickup I did because of you.
Yeah.
I texted you. I said, hey, I got the Chuba Hubbards in free agency here in my league, and what do you think? And you're like, look, I think he's going to end up being the starting back. It was right when the changing of the guard was starting to happen, where clearly they're like, I think Chuba's the better back, and they just rolled with him. And goddamn, he rescued my ass because I had running back after running back after running back go down.
Yeah.
What was it that you saw? Do you recall the moment where you're like, oh, this is going down? It's happening.
Snap counts. I mean, snap counts are first. When you start to look at the snap counts and you start to see it changing in the other direction, everybody looks at touches. There could be somebody who's on the field for 35% of the snaps, but they get more touches, and you think, oh, I'm the lead back. No, like, Chuba was moving towards snap counts, and they were just figuring out their way. And obviously, Frank Reich wasn't the best coach, but you could see it happening a little by little because he was much more efficient than Miles Sanders. And then compounded by that, like, when you pick him up, I've always kind of been trying to be proactive on guys that are behind someone, because if an injury goes down, then you got him. And if he's sitting on the back of your bench, then you don't got to go to waivers to get him. Mm-hmm. But the snap counts were kind of trending in that direction. So when you start to see that go up, everyone looks at touches and they look at that as saying, oh, well, he's the lead dog. You got to kind of look at snap counts. And I think you have to kind of look at the way that he's efficient. So if he has 8 for 64, but Miles Sanders has 12 for 32, you can see already who is like trending in the right direction. So snap counts is where just follow the snaps, I think, is the best.
That started happening in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And luckily, at that point, I had basically every Baltimore running back on my team, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ride every horse on this one. It's gotten interesting now with Dalvin Cook. What do you think about that pickup, actually?
I think he's just taking Melvin Gordon's spot. I didn't know that Melvin Gordon scored a touchdown last week. That's how fucking far ahead they were of the Miami Dolphins. That Melvin Gordon got off the practice squad and he said, I'm scoring a tutty. Hey, you get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. I think it's more, if you're thinking about who is more or less washed, I think Dalvin has a little bit more in the tank than Melvin Gordon.
I think so, too.
Yeah. So
I think Dalvin, Dalvin was clearly sold a false bill of goods. Like, I think they told him, hey, look, this is going to be like, I'm speculating here, but I don't think he would have signed up if they weren't like, hey, look, man, we really see this as 50-50, Thunder and Lightning.
Yep.
And I just think that he wasn't getting that. I mean, his production is recent enough that you hold out hope that he can really still have that juice in him. I personally, when I saw that Baltimore signed him, I didn't scoff. I was like, ooh, okay. Like, the Super Bowl could be a little bit trickier if they get in.
It's hard to, at this point, have depth as good as Baltimore does at the running back position, right? Like,
Yep.
there's no move for them to make that's like, you're not going to find Jonathan Taylor on the waiver wire, right? Like you know, almost like in fantasy. But yeah, like if Dalvin's pressing the duty, he's still somebody who's capable. And I think the Jets got kind of taken back by the fact that Breece Hall coming off the ACL injury.
Still solid.
I mean, my goodness, next year, what is he going to be? One more year
scary.
removed, right? Like, is it the numbers?
Especially with Aaron Rodgers, who can actually give you a threat in the pass game.
100%. And when you look at the numbers post ACL, you look at Breece Hall and you think, my goodness, man, next year he's going to be a high pick, and he should be because he was so good this year off the ACL. So I think the Jets kind of just were looking like, hey, man, Breece is our dog, and we're going to ride with him. So we didn't pay you that much, and that's it. Like, I don't think it's. I think that a lot of people are jumping to conclusions about Dalvin Cook being washed because he didn't get many opportunities. But for me, I think it's more like if you got a
Breece
dog
Hall's
in
your
front
dog.
of you, yeah, Breece Hall's nasty.
You know who I think is an interesting comparison? And tell me I'm scum if you think so. But
No.
I think Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell was a hell of a back on the 49ers. And then Christian McCaffrey came. And you got to understand, Kyle Shanahan is saying, look, I know there's some more injury risk if I keep him out there and this and that, but also rushing title, here we go.
Yeah.
He's got it. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is so dynamic. And when you look at Breece Hall, I think it's a similar situation where they're like, look, Dalvin Cook, you're a dog, but I think Breece Hall is potentially going to be running to be a Pro Bowl player, big time, perennial Pro Bowl player for a long time.
And they drafted him to be that, right? Like, and again, you getting Christian McCaffrey isn't no indictment on Elijah Mitchell. It's just you cannot pass up on that opportunity. Now, when you look at the way Elijah Mitchell's performed, particularly this past week, my goodness, man, he looks like he's all the way back, which is great in for the 49ers because now you don't even have to take Christian McCaffrey off the field now. Like, you can literally split him out wide. Like, he runs routes better than some wide receivers that I've seen. It just gives you another dynamic, and that's what kind of makes this 49ers team so fun going into this bye week, right? Like, we're going to talk about, like, rest, and we're talking about, like, sharpness, but, man, if Elijah Mitchell can give you that, like, running back presence while having Christian McCaffrey on the field demanding all that attention, you're just adding another dynamic to this offense that makes them harder and harder to defend, and it's just, it's all clicking. It's all coming together.
100%.
This is a weird spot for us. This is a weird spot for us.
Yes, sir.
I know. Well, here's the thing, and we're going to get to some comments in a second. I want to make sure if there's any questions or comments that are worth highlighting, we highlight them. But I'm in another position. I am so triggered as a 49ers fan that success is scary to me.
Yes.
Like, confidence is scary to me.
When's the knife coming?
Right, yeah. When do my guts get ripped out? I'm waiting.
Yes,
I'm waiting.
sir.
Let's get some comments.
Yes,
By the way, if you're just
sir.
joining us, we are live in New York. If you are wondering why I'm not in my studio in a garage, it's because I'm in New York with Jason Aponte. Let's see. We want Chili Willy. Oh, Johnny Ratzo. Okay, I got bad news, guys. Johnny Ratzo was on the fucking list.
Oh no!
Yeah, dude.
Schindler's List?
No, the Epstein
I know,
list.
yeah.
The other list. The second worst list. I know, guys. I'm sorry. We had to cancel him. Johnny Ratzo is canceled. I'm really sorry. We canceled his ass, dude. I can't have that kind of
In New
behavior
York?
on the show. In New York, dude. Yeah, dude. I watched him get arrested. He was supposed to be on the show today.
What is it, like Cuba Gooding? Like him getting just walking out like that?
Yeah, had no fucking dignity, dude. Fucking Johnny Ratzo. He's dead to me.
Oh my goodness.
And to think that I trusted him.
And just to think when that patent has just come up with Mickey Mouse, now you can use him like whenever, right?
It was perfect. It was like public access, public domain. It was a marriage that was meant to be.
2024 is off to a fucking like hot start.
Yeah, dude. Johnny Ratzo canceled. Sorry, guys. Anyways, what else? Jared Goff throws a screen. There's an interception. Oh, first of all, shout out Rory.
Hell yeah, Rory.
Second of all, I hope I receive. You know what my Medal of Honor is one day is receiving one of those patches from Rory. I see so many people get them, and I don't get jealous. I never get jealous. I honor them. I am proud for them. I'm happy for them. But Rory, if you're watching, if one day I make you proud enough, like if you think I have brought enough honor to you and this country and this 49ers brand, that to me is I put that akin to the George Kittle axe, truly. Because you are such a good guy, and I respect the hell out of you.
Rory, that's like literally my top one moment. Like seriously, that letter that you wrote, everything that you gave.
You got a fucking letter too?
I got a letter too. Yeah.
Can you cliff notes it for me? I don't want you to. If it's personal, you don't have to do that.
It was about like essentially I was deployed. You helped me, like get through everything as well too. Rory, you'll never know how much that means to me, man. Because I feel like sometimes I'm just talking to the camera. Rory, you and I know we talk, via DM, all that stuff, man. Shout out to you, man. I still have the coin, the patch, everything, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And as a family, as a member of a family that is been deployed, has had all those things, I understand the importance of it, man. So I'm just happy that I was able to help you at least a little bit, even with my nonsense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love people who are good people on Twitter.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, okay, you're a precious resource.
Be more like Rory and be less like Jason Aponte on Twitter, 100%.
Let's see. Just joined. Why is Sam in a sauna? All right, I'm gonna recap real quick.
Yeah, one more time. Go through the
All
story.
right. Airbnb was booked in New York.
Yep.
We are live in New York right now.
Yep.
We are live in New York. Airbnb was booked in New York. Shout out my girlfriend. She's amazing. She works in the beauty space. And she needed a spot that had a massage chair. So she booked an Airbnb with a massage chair. It's kind of a sauna. It's a little bit like a sex dungeon too.
Not a little.
There are miscellaneous sex toys around.
Not a little.
My laptop is sitting on a sex saddle. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Should be a vibe.
sir.
All right. That's that. All right, so let's get to our real topics. I'm sure people here actually care about the 49ers or whatever. So let's talk about what they want to hear, baby. Number 1 seed, secured. We did it, baby. We secured the number 1 seed. And let me tell you, like, if you are just joining the show, I just said this, success is like triggering to me. I get nervous, I get anxious, I feel anxiety because we have squandered one too many Super Bowl in the last decade. And it's beginning to feel a little, it's kind of like how I imagine the Bills felt when they were like always in the NFL Films highlights of the Super Bowl on the losing end.
Right.
It's kind of how it felt for me, being a Harbaugh fan and now a Shanahan fan. But I really do believe this team has some gas to it, has some opportunity to crush it. What do you think? What do you think have been our strengths compared to our last appearances in the Super Bowl?
Well, I will say this. I think Fred Warner, who has an incredible podcast.
Yes, he does.
He labeled it the best way, right? So the last time the 49ers had the number 1 seed, which is in 2019, it came down to literally the last play. The last play.
Yeah.
Right. So if Drake Greenlaw doesn't make that tackle, they end up the 5th seed. And now you've got to get ready for next week. And the tackle happens, and obviously they're the number 1 seed, and then they get to do what they do. But now this is a new challenge, I think, for the 49ers in terms of you knock this out a game ahead of time. And this was what Fred was talking about. You heard Debo speak about it. You heard about Kyle Shanahan speaking about it. You have to keep yourself sharp. You have to continue with the same practice habits. And, by the way, 49ers fans, I know you want to rest everybody. There's only a certain amount of players who can play. So you are going to see starters play far into this game. Maybe not Trent Williams, maybe not, Debo Samuel, maybe not George Kittle, but you can't rest everyone. You cannot rest everyone. So that's what's a little bit weird about this is I don't envy the position that Kyle Shanahan is in right now because you have to find a way to toe the line of rest and sharpness because you don't want people to just sit there and just be like, 2 or 3 weeks. He even talked about Trent Williams coming back from the injury. Trent Williams is the best left tackle who's ever played the game.
100%.
And he said after a month, that wasn't Trent. So he wants to get, Trent Williams is going to play on Sunday in some form or fashion. You've got to be able to like pop the pads. Now, the question that I have is everyone's looking at starters who are going to be playing, they're sharp. It's about the contributors who aren't starters that you need. I want to see Juwan Jennings play.
Yeah.
I want to see Juwan Jennings get back on the field because on third down, you're missing a little something. No disrespect to Ronnie Bell, and I'm going to say this twice. No disrespect to Ronnie Bell, but on a third down, you're not Juwan. You're not Juwan, unfortunately. And Ray McLeod's back. So I want to see Ray McLeod catch some punts and get himself acclimated because, no disrespect to Ronnie Bell, things haven't really gone well punting-wise. And I hate to say it, punt returners who wear number 10, that's PTSD.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is PTSD right now. So it's funny because this game doesn't mean anything. We're going to laugh at who's starting at quarterback, but there are certain things that the 49ers need to see to fortify themselves. And I think it's with the contributors who are not the top end guys.
100%. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. And shout out Fred Warner's podcast. And it's funny, just total sidebar. LeBron James talks about how like his kids don't talk to him like he's LeBron James, like he's just dad. And like I could tell there was a moment in that segment with Fred Warner's wife, and maybe it was just a moment that I'm misinterpreting, but I felt like it was one of those moments where like you're talking to your girlfriend and they're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're just kind of like spacing out, but like kind of listening
Like,
to you.
you look great. You're spitting facts probably, but
Yeah, but
I probably can't.
I was thinking about the yoga class that I forgot to cancel because I've got to go to a doctor's appointment. But anyway, shout out to that family. God bless you. That was you got a great thing going, and I love that you're adding a personal human touch to the content game because
Right.
who the fuck are we, right? Let
Right.
the players talk. I'm a huge proponent
right.
of that.
I mean, we're matching though, like low key, like
Hey,
8 through to 81. Look at
the
that,
vibes.
man. Hey, look, the aesthetics are crazy, man.
Dude,
The aesthetics are crazy
that's
right
cool.
now.
Yeah, I know, dude.
In the sauna.
I know. True story. I was, we're in the sauna, baby. New York, live from New York. Anyways, number 1 seed. Yeah, here's the thing: is that it feels good that we have it this early because, truthfully, I feel like a big reason that before the bye we were struggling is I feel like a lot of our players were playing hurt because they're savages, but they were not 100%.
100%.
And I think we're in a position right now where we are really cognizant of the threat that being rusty has, but we are also grateful for the rest that we have been allotted. And so Kyle has a difficult challenge on his hands where he does not want to put a game changer on the field who, God forbid, knock on whatever this is, would hopefully, gets compromised in a way that would jeopardize their playoff playing opportunity. But the fact of the matter is that Steve Young mentioned that, look, Steve Young mentioned that there is potential for rust, in particular for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has been rested. If I were to make a decision for Kyle, I would have made the same one. You got to rest him. And look, the rust presents a risk. I think the risk of the rust is greater than the trauma that we have already experienced of Purdy not being available.
Yep.
So if I had to choose one or the other, I choose Purdy, take a sit, have a good time on the sidelines with the headset on.
Yep.
And frankly, I would say the same for CMC.
Yeah, and the thing is the opponent is going to dictate your anxiety in terms of that, right? Like, if you're in this divisional game, it might be a surprise, it might not be, but at the same time, you still believe in this 49ers team being better. I mean, they've already conquered every single thing that you need to, conquer aside from the Baltimore Ravens, which if push comes to shove, that's going to be in February. So, like, right now, if the Dallas Cowboys pull up, if the Los Angeles Rams pull up, if the Eagles pull up, you're not worried about that because you already know how to dictate that. And Brock said something that, like, again, Brock says all the right things. And there's something about this young man that is just, like, wise beyond his time.
So real.
Yeah, he just said, I'm not going to be sitting on the couch not doing anything. And I understand that 100%. So, again, the whole idea of, like, rust and being able to be sharp, I don't want to be tasked with that decision. I really don't. And I don't envy Kyle Shanahan being in that position. what I do want to tell 49ers fans is that 50% of the top seeds that have made the Super Bowl have been number 1 seeds. So, at this point, it's a coin flip. I think it's only 21% of them have lost in the divisional round. I think it's 29% have lost in the championship round, but 50% have made the Super Bowl. There's no perfect path to it. There's no perfect way to do it. But if you look at last season, and I know we probably can poke holes through this, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs were the number 1 seeds, and they both met in the Super Bowl. I don't think you can draw it up any better. I mean, you're going to have every game in Santa Clara. I mean, they'll never have to leave. I mean, I've driven from the Bay Area to Vegas. Like, it's that close. So they'll never have to leave the West Coast. There's no perfect way to line it up, but you couldn't ask for anything better, right? Like, you want to get Eric Armstead back. You want Javon Hargrave and Christian McCaffrey to nurse their injuries to 100%. You want Jair Brown back on the field. You want Deshaun Gibson to fully get healthy. There's no perfect way to balance rust versus, rest, but I would rather have this decision than have to be all in, like, the entire way, even though the 49ers have kind of shown the blueprint of how to, like, do that and get to the NFC Championship game at least.
And you want the playoffs to run through Santana Row.
Yeah.
You want him to run through Cheesecake Factory, Santa Clara, because
Yard House.
Yard House.
Gang, Yard House.
Gang.
Cheesecake Factory is close. Cheesecake Factory is close. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
Cheesecake Factory is really
sir.
close. They got that Louisiana chicken pasta, but Yard House is still Yard House the game.
For sure, yo, Han. Side note before we go to the next topic, I took my girlfriend to Yard House for the first time, and I was like, listen, this is like, have you been to BJ's?
Yep.
I was like, it's like BJ's but better. It's like similar category but like a leg up.
Yeah.
She loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I mean, there's nothing bad on Yard House's menu, and they
Nothing.
don't pay me to say this either. It's literally like it's the way I'll put it is it's exquisite hooligans.
Exquisite Hooligans, which would be a sick stripper name. All right, let me see the comments here. We got a sourdough.
Here we go.
A sourdough sex saddle. Ooh.
Ooh.
Don't tempt me with a good
So,
time.
and it sounds like a patent pending.
I know, yeah, exactly. Hey, one of my dreams at some point soon is to release a bunch of like collectibles, like actually collab with the players so they don't get mad at me. But be like, because like the George Kittle axe was like very inspiring.
No,
I
that
wanted to
is.
be like, all right, I wonder
Such
if I
a
can
good
find
guy.
hella good guy.
Yeah.
Hella good guy. He was like a mensch. Anyways, one of these days. I want to see Jake Moody kick a 6-yard field goal. What are your thoughts on Jake Moody?
Jake Moody's been fine. I mean, he hasn't missed any kicks, anything like that. No pressure pack situations. That's just because the 49ers have just been blowing people out. I love that.
Yeah.
I hope Jake Moody never has to have a pressure pack kick because then that means the 49ers have blown them out by 21, 24.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we kind of talked about it in the last one. Let's kind of quickly just dip through the rest of, let's just wring the towel out as much as we can with the rest of this. Too much rest. Do we think with Brock Purdy in particular, we can go over the other players, but let's start with Brock. Do we think that Brock runs a risk of being rusty by not being available for this game?
You run a risk, but I don't think he will be. I think once they find out their opponent and they start locking in on the game plan and everything and they start practicing with intensity, I don't fear that thing at all because based on everything that happens in terms of game planning all week, Brock always looks to execute. Now, whether the ball bounces a certain way, obviously we saw with Baltimore, it bounces off of somebody's hands. That's little stuff, but I don't run the risk of being rusty. There's something about him that makes me feel at ease. And
I talk about it all the time.
the other thing is, and look, I'm not trying to take shots at the other guy because he's super handsome.
Hella handsome.
But Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of came out of that divisional game against Minnesota, and he started to throw the football like all over the place, and that's something that we kind of saw. I don't fear that with Brock. Like I know that there's instances of it, and someone will clip this and say, "Look at this throw! Look at this throw!" For the large majority of his throws, he's not looked like that guy at all, and I just don't think that's going to happen now. And if even if the game plan calls for a little bit of like, hey, run the ball more, I just still trust Brock to execute. And I still trust him to be under control. I still trust Kyle to make adjustments. I still trust Kyle to gather information and use it against them. There's nobody in the NFC right now that makes me scared. The only way the 49ers lose games is if they vomit on themselves. And I don't think that's going to happen. It happened a little bit against Baltimore, but I want to make sure that we give credit to the Baltimore Ravens because they're really fucking good. Like, I just want to make sure that we do that. That's it. Like, yes, the 49ers didn't play their best game, but there's nobody in the NFC that can play like the Baltimore Ravens. So I don't see how now you're afraid, oh, he did this in a big game. Dallas can't do it. The Eagles can't do it. The Lions can't do it. Seattle can't do it. I don't give a fuck who it is right now. Like, it's more about my faith in this offense, the offensive coordinator, the head coach, and, you know, Brock Purdy to execute this offense and his weapons, man. Like, for you guys to make plays, I really don't see where the fear is in the NFC aside from some bullshit happening with the Los Angeles Rams and just finding a way to get it done.
Totally. I mean, here's what I'd say. Here's the good news and the bad news about the Baltimore game. The bad news is that what you saw was real. Baltimore is a great team. They're able to take advantage of your mistakes, and they're able to put points on the board that will humiliate you. I think the good news is that if you watch the tape, Brock Purdy had some bad bounces, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
And for a quarterback who is a few more games over what a rookie year's allotment would be, he sure bounced back pretty convincingly in the games following. What I will say is that we're not looking at an off season's worth of missed games and time for Brock. We're looking at several weeks. And I don't think that Brock is going to be... Here's the thing about the 49ers is their culture is razor sharp.
Yep.
Like, all the players who come in talk about it all the time. They are so adamant about the type of culture that they are in. They are really consistent about describing it as a winning culture.
Yep.
And out of the 50-50 amount of teams that have gotten the number 1 seed that get to the Super Bowl, the type of cultures that get to the Super Bowl are the ones that the 49ers have.
Yeah.
And so with respect to Brock Purdy, I'm not concerned at all. I think he's so cerebral in a way that I really can't imagine that any NFC opponent that we would face in the divisional would, like, send him into a spiral.
Nope.
Frankly, whoever we play in the divisional, we have probably already played before. Same with probably the NFC Championship. I mean, it's either the Eagles or the Cowboys or the Rams. Like, there's nobody that we haven't faced that I imagine that we're going to run into. So at this stage, I don't feel worried about Brock at all. I honestly, if I'll be real, I think that this period of rest is probably the greatest thing that our team could have asked for. The fact that the playoffs run through Santa Clara, the fact that we have the opportunity to rest a very formidable group of offensive weapons and defensive, stalwarts. I think we are putting ourselves in a position to give us the best chance to make a deep run possible. So do I think there is a risk with too much rest? No, I do not think so.
I mean, 49er fans would have wanted it this way. So now it can't look like it's bad in any way, right? Like, now you can't talk yourself out of something that you wanted all season. Every single 49ers fan and 49ers player wanted this bye week. And, we talked about, like, getting Javon Hargrave and Christian McCaffrey and Jair Brown and such on. What if Eric Armstead pops up? It's just the amount of things that can happen are limitless right now. And you can't talk yourself out of something that you wanted this entire time. Now, all of a sudden, a bye week can't be a problem. You wanted this. This is what you wanted. Did you want him to clinch it the last week of the season? Maybe, but now you're playing with house money now at this point. So it's like, it's really about just towing that line of just sharpness and rust. But this team has been on the doorstep. I don't want to talk about it in 2020. That's when the world ended. This team has been close to the doorstep in, the NFC Championship game. They know exactly what it takes to get this done. They've had to go on the road and beat number 1 seeds and teams that were supposed to beat them. Now, everyone has to come to you, and you get to sit at home now. Like, this is a little bit different right now. No one could have asked for a better set of circumstances when it comes to this. So don't act like now it's an issue because now you're worried about rust. No. This is exactly what you wanted, what this team wanted no reason to panic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If anyone asks, I am a big proponent of this rest. Let me see. Got one comment here from Jorn. Shout out Jorn. Hopefully Moody is like our other third-round picks and we don't see him. Hey, shut up. I like Jake Moody.
Jake Moody's fine. No, don't boo him. Jake Moody's fine. You know, but again, if Jake Moody doesn't have to make a pressure
I
kick,
see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. Okay, sorry, Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jordan.
if Jake Moody doesn't have to
He's
make
saying if our offense is so good,
right,
we don't
if he
see Jake
doesn't,
Moody.
that's what I'm saying. I hope he doesn't have
My
to make a
bad.
pressure
I
kick.
love you, Jordan.
Let's win every game by 21. And Jake Moody doesn't have to make a kick. I would prefer that.
For sure.
I don't want to win a Super Bowl with a last-second kick. I want to win in the third quarter talking crazy, talking to people on Twitter.
Hold on, guys. Breaking news. We have Kyle Shanahan
commenting.
He says, screw the Niners. You got to play a drinking game.
Oh.
I mean, screw the Niners. Drinking game.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's the drinking game? Every time Kyle says let's watch a press conference, and every time Kyle says we take
oh my
a
God,
drink.
dude, I would be sent to a New York hospital, dude. I'm dying over here. All right.
You're killing me.
So, look, hold on. First of all, let me clear this comment. Kyle, sorry, I'm going to hide you for a second. Who is the threat in the NFC? A lot of people are scared of the Rams.
Yeah.
I guess, and here's the frustrating thing is that in the words of a rapper who is very controversial, I guess we'll never know. Because as far as the next game, we're not getting the full Rams. They're not getting the full 49ers. Who is the threat in the NFC?
It's the Los Angeles Rams.
You think so?
Yes.
Hot at the right time.
Just hot at the right time. Knows the 49ers.
Yes.
Annoying. They've got a running game now. Matthew Stafford, I would argue, is probably playing the best football of his career. Now, I don't care stat-wise.
He's playing like I don't give a fuck football.
Right. It's like, I don't care stat-wise. Pull up that year with him and Megatron. Pull it up. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm looking at a guy who's making throws into keyholes, like 30 yards down the field. That shit scares the shit out of me, man. It really does.
Yeah.
Because he was doing that against the Baltimore Ravens. That Ravens game that they won was won on a punt return in overtime. It wasn't because the Ravens beat the shit out of them or anything like that. And it was in Baltimore. Kyle Shanahan said the same thing. Matthew Stafford's playing the best football of his career. Kyron Williams has given them a running game. You still have a game breaker in Aaron Donald. When you look at divisional opponents, those games tend to be weird. I don't give a fuck about the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions. I don't give a fuck about none of them. Not the Seattle Seahawks, not the Green Bay Packers. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, sir.
What scares me more than anything is a team that knows you. Raheem Morris knows Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan knows Raheem Morris. Sean McVay knows Kyle Shanahan. Those games get weird.
Yep.
And Matthew Stafford is playing his best football. Will the 49ers beat them? I will pick them 10 out of 10 days. But that game scares me more than facing Micah Parsons and his stupid podcast, Jalen Hurts and that stupid touch push, and anybody else in this league. Because none of them can see the 49ers. The Los Angeles Rams scare the shit out of me because of all of the things that I just said.
So real. You know what it kind of reminds me of is oh man, I'm about to be such a fucking nerd right now. It's like we are dealing with different species of Pokemon. And the Cowboys and the Eagles are supposed to be very big Earth Pokemon, and we're water Pokemon. We're we got you, dude. We're not afraid of you. But then there is the risk of someone who is counter to your exact core, and that is the Rams. And that's what makes me nervous, is that, if I'm being honest, we are dealing with someone who is so. First of all, Jordan Rodriguez. Two parts to this response. One, Jordan Rodriguez, very brilliant tweet observation about Matthew Stafford, which is that he's having one of the coolest seasons of his career. Just arm angles and just confidence and just he is turning Puka Nakuas into Pro Bowlers. And no disrespect to Puka Nacua,
needs
because Puka
49
Nacua is
yards.
turning Puka Nacua
He
into a
needs
Pro Bowler.
49 yards
but
to
he
break
needs,
the rookie season record.
It takes 2 to tango,
That's
is
insane.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
And truly, in a season that people effectively wrote off both the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yep.
Stafford playing some very cool football. Shout out Jordan Rodriguez. That podcast was blowing my mind. The Playmakers.
The Playmakers is
And
shit.
speaking of the Playmakers, there is a relationship that exists between Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay that is very rooted in intellectual competition.
And competition, yeah.
Intellectual, just chess. And it drives them both mad in ways that they would never admit publicly until the day they are on their deathbeds, like talking to each other. They think about they have so much real estate in each other's heads.
Yep.
Let's be so honest.
Yep.
And I'm very on board with you in saying that they're the biggest threat. Because
They're
truthfully,
annoying.
I think Kyle looks at Dallas and he says, I've got your
Fuck you.
fucking number.
Yeah, you're
I think he looks at the Eagles and says, Sirianni, you're going to be out of a fucking
You
job.
can't push away 90 yards down the field.
But I think Sean McVay, I think we have a more talented, I know we
No,
have a more
the
talented
49ers
squad.
are better than the Rams. It's not about that. It's styles make fights, and it's just like
Yes.
the little things that are going on in the middle. Like it's not me saying that I think the Rams are better than the 49ers. They're not. No one on their best day in the NFC is better than them. But
If Charizard slips on a banana peel and Squirtle is ready, he's going to douse him.
if you throw the ball to Deebo Samuel and he fumbles the football and they
Yes,
pick that shit up and they
exactly.
run it for a touchdown, now all of a sudden you're like just behind the 8 ball. It's just there's something about beating a team, and the only thing that I'm going to say is this. Beating a team 3 times in the same season is hard. The 49ers just did it against the Seattle Seahawks. Why? Because they fucking suck. Eat it, Pete Carroll.
Eat it.
But they're not going to, you can't use this win this Sunday to like say, oh, we beat the Rams. Everything's going to be super vanilla. So you're going to so now you got to go into another game and remember how hard week 2 was. Because we all laughed at that game. We're like, ha, ha, ha. The 49ers just blew out the Steelers. We're rolling in. And they didn't even have Cooper Kupp. They didn't even have Kyron Williams rolling. Like, it's just, again, it's the divisional opponent that scares me more than anything.
100%.
Because they know you. I don't care, man. Philly can't do nothing. Dallas can't do nothing. I don't give a fuck. Seattle's in the division. They suck. Who cares? Like, none of that matters. It's something about the McVay, Shanahan, Los Angeles Rams, and then I hate to be the fucking bearer of bad news or the sore thumb, but they won the game that mattered. I know that we're like, oh, we own the Rams. I would trade all 8 of those victories
100%.
to make the Super Bowl, and it's just like the Rams have that. So it's like the little boogeyman that you got to kind of put away. So look, I think the 49ers on their best day can beat the Rams.
Any day.
But God damn it if you don't think that like the Rams are the biggest threat. They are. Once the Rams get out the way, like that's why they don't want to play the Lions. They want to play the Cowboys.
Yep.
They realized they were just like, you know what? We'll lose this game. Let's play the Cowboys. We're fine. I'll take our chances there. And I'm going to pick the Rams in that game because I think the Cowboys are absolute fucking frauds. But they don't want to play the Lions. They don't want to go to Detroit for that, even though the scriptwriter set it up. It's just like right now, it's just like, damn, man, the Rams have got that little thing that the 49ers don't have right now. That's it.
I think the Rams are the biggest threat, let's be
That's
honest.
it.
I mean, I think the fact that, look, here's the deal, is that every other NFC team has their bachelor's degree in studying the 49ers' tendencies, and the Rams and the Seahawks, but in this conversation, the Rams, have their PhD in 49ers tendencies. And not to mention the fact that the relationship is so close between Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, it is beyond any other competitive relationship that any other coaches have in this league. It is so personal. It is so personal in ways that they, again, like I said, they will probably not talk about until they're like about to be flatlined on their hospital bed at age 125.
I can't wait for that book. Like that book of like, oh, you know, remember this and that, like, or the 30 for 30 of like this entire.
I just want you to know that every moment of my life I spent trying to be better than you. That's what we're fucking dealing with. And truthfully, that's why the Rams are the most dangerous.
Yeah.
All right. So
The comments aren't cooking us.
let's talk about, let me dig in the comments actually. Vince Pendar says,
Shout out to Vince.
what's up? What's up, dude? Good to see you. And he says, WJD. I'm going to hit you with 10 sound effects.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Cynthia is a big Spicy Squad member, so she showed out for Sourdeath Sam because we put the word out on State of the Franchise. They did a great job in the first quarter of the last game we played. Yeah, I just remember we went into that week 2 game and we were like, ha ha ha, the Rams, I can't wait. Then all of a sudden we're like, uh-oh, and then it took the second half for them to figure it out. And now I would say the Rams are a better team than they were in week 2. Obviously, Cooper Kupp being there and Kyron Williams playing that way, it's just they're more scary and annoying than anything because of the connections. Raheem Morris knows Kyle Shanahan knows Raheem Morris, Sean McVay knows Kyle Shanahan knows Sean McVay. The chess match is more annoying than anything. Dan Quinn can't stop Kyle Shanahan. Whoever decide, Matt Patricia, we're not worried about you, Philadelphia. It's that familiarity that kind of just makes that game just super awkward. Totally. So like that's all it is more than anything. It's just awkward. It just feels weird. That's all.
And shout out Cynthia, thank you for hopping on. Man, I don't know if I don't know if you saw this, but first of all, I love women who are open about their football and their sports, like
Cynthia knows
enthusiasm.
Cynthia knows football.
And someone who I follow called Not So Cool Jules got like some incel was trying to like dunk on her, and she just totally ended up taking it and turning it into total casino cash out brilliance, where all these women were just completely reposting and showing their love. And I do too, because frankly, I think there's a lot of incel just misogynist behavior towards that, and it's so disruptive towards, first of all, not only the growth of the game, but the growth of the conversation. Like, you look at Mina Kimes, who is so fucking brilliant. Like, she is so clearly like a league above so many of her, like a majority of her peers in the conversation, which is why she got extended. And I just like, I don't know, I'm hoping that I live in an era where like those like sort of stereotypes and those ideologies of like gender role acceptance of like who can be a fan of what is completely shattered, because it just makes me so happy to see that type of galvanization of community.
As a father of a daughter, as someone who lives in this Twitter sphere and lives in this era, the dumbest fucking opinions I've ever gotten have been from men.
Always.
And it's been from fucking football players too. Like, it's been from football players who've actually played the game as well too. It's never been like the idea that you need to be of a certain gender to jump into this. It's like, you know how many stupid fucking men say the dumbest things that I've ever heard in my entire life?
In general.
I just literally want to just like blow my brains out in terms of, and now you're going to turn it around on that. It's like, anytime that I've had a really strong opinion against something, it's been a man. And men always want to gatekeep football, but yet so many men don't know shit about this game. Nothing about it that makes sense, nothing about it that makes any sort of football sense in terms of schematics, stats, anything. Men are the ones that are fucking all this shit up, because most of the time I look at men and I'm just like, you are so fucking stupid. I can't believe that you're allowed to have an opinion, but they're only allowed to have an opinion because gender roles and everything.
Yes, sir.
Man, these clowns will talk circles around you with scheme. I guarantee you, if I walked into a bar and I heard a guy yelling, is what I usually love to do is just ear hustle and listen to, like, to people talking football. I would love to have Mina Kimes sit there and tell them scheme and why shit is not working that way. It's just insane to
100%.
me. And I 100% love going to bars and just listening to men and just listening to them talk, because I just want to walk over and be like, you are a fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you literally are dumb, and you should stop watching football. If you believe that's happening, you're not watching anything.
And one last note on this tangent, the LGBTQ community plus is absolutely fucking welcome here.
Yep.
Anytime, show up, let's have a beer. I love you. Don't ever stop being a fan of the team you love. It drives me crazy. The gatekeeping of sports is like one of my biggest pet peeves.
My thing is just like the men. They're like, Lamar doesn't deserve the MVP. What the fuck league have you been watching, Bucko? Like, I just don't understand. Like, you're not watching real football. You're just making things up in your head.
Absolute fucking bullshit. We'll get a few of these comments in because, first of all, I got to put up Rory. Men gatekeeping sports fandom knowledge is the opposite of BDE.
100%.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
says, my favorite guys, big up to you too.
Hell
Aw,
yeah.
yeah.
In the sauna.
Sauna,
Up.
All right, we're on to our last topic before we get to affirmations.
yeah, I
And this
got
one
some.
is an award ceremony called the Snubbies. Ladies and gentlemen, the Snubbies. Welcome. Obviously, a lot of 49ers made the Pro Bowl. A lot of important 49ers made the Pro Bowl. Notably the quarterback, who once again is a few games just above his rookie season's worth of allotment. And we got to be very proud of that because Brock Purdy was amidst a whirlwind of conversation on Twitter, in national news, et cetera, before the season began about the quarterback situation, and there are no questions left.
None.
There are questions, though, about who didn't make the Pro Bowl aside from him. Who would you start with?
All right, look, this is a 49er-centric podcast. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk deserves it, right? On 101 targets, 72 receptions. But I would ask you, 49er fan that's watching me, please do not yell at me. My goodness, Amon-Ra St. Brown being not a Pro Bowler, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Not in this world, not in a multiverse, not in any world. Like, look, man, look. I think that we are living in a world, and I, again, could be living in a recency bias world, could be living in a wide receiver world because I love wide receivers more than anything. Respect the second best receiver in the history of football. The second best. I don't want to hear about Randy Moss. Respect the second best receiver in the history of football. We are living in a time where there are so many great wide receivers that it's hard to figure out who's who.
Good point.
Right? It's just, I think that we are living in, and again, might be recency bias, might be the liquor, might be both. You're watching the best wide receivers that have ever played this game of football ever. Ever. Look, Tyreek Hill in the 1980s runs past everyone.
Oh my God, dude.
Runs past everyone.
So real.
All of these wide receivers that you're watching some of the most physically gifted wide receivers to ever play this game of football.
That's
you
really
are.
real.
And you are watching the greatest class of wide receivers. And Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't even pulled up yet.
Totally.
And he's about to pass his father. You are watching some of the best wide receivers that have ever played this game. There's no slight at Brandon Ayuk for not making it. Amon-Ra St. Brown should make it. DJ Moore should make it. All of these guys should make it. So it's a snub that Brandon Ayuk doesn't make it, but it's not a slight at him. It's because we're living in a world of the best wide receivers that have ever played the game of football. And I don't know what else to say outside of that.
Well, that's real. Amon-Ra St. Brown should have made it. I think Brandon Ayuk should have made it too. Obviously, you are limited in space on the
Of
cruise,
course.
right? And that's the challenge.
The good news is, Brandon Ayuk wouldn't play either way because he's got another game that week after.
That's true. That's true. I feel like the reason why I feel bad for Brandon Ayuk, and I'll talk about him later on the show in the only segment left. I'm stealing him.
No, that's fine. I didn't
Well,
have
we can
him.
share him.
No, I didn't have him. I didn't
Okay,
have him.
well,
And I don't
that's
like sharing.
All right, good. You don't like sharing.
I'm not a sharer.
Okay.
I'm not.
All right. I will say that it's frustrating for him to be such an excellent receiver who is constantly just under like the precipice of being recognized the way he should.
Yeah.
Because he is such a exceptional wide receiver who was picked amongst a tribe of other wide receivers who were so much more highly touted than him.
And look, Justin Jefferson is not in this conversation this year. And normally he would be like, again, like we're starting to look at like a time where it's just like, it's impossible to decipher who's who. And it's not a slight at Brandon Ayuk. It's just because there's so many good fucking wide receivers that play the game of football right now. There just are. And I think
That's a really good point.
That's it.
And the other point to that is that there's, in my opinion, I think there's sometimes East Coast biased.
100%.
And the national media does not cover, and It's funny. Every time I mention the word media, I feel like I'm slipping into a conversation that of a demographic I don't want to be a part of. But I do think national media can cover people who, like Colton McKivitz getting clout on. I don't want to go there, but you hear what I'm saying.
Yes,
like
yes,
there is a sometimes lack of watching that happens and conversation that is very loose and free flying. But with Brandon Ayuk, I think it's the opposite problem, where I feel like people are not closely paying attention because Deebo Samuel is someone who's like, he's like Bam Bam, dude. It's like he catches the football and it's just like, bah, bah, and it's just like 100 yards. Yeah.
But why didn't Deebo make it then? Right?
But that's another conversation because Deebo's problem is that his yards are split amongst different sort of verticals, right? It's like receiving and rushing. It's funny because like I had posted a tweet a few weeks ago about the fact that the 49ers are about to get to where they are now, which is that they have a bunch of 1,000-yard weapons.
Yep.
And what I didn't mention was that I was sticking to Deebo's receiving yards, and people were like, "Hey, what about his rushing?" And it was an absolutely fair point because he is a wide back. He is not a wide receiver.
But that should only strengthen his case.
I agree because we're dealing with a different dimension of NFL football that I frankly should have taken more into account with that tweet. With Brandon Ayuk, I think he deserves better. And I think that at some point soon, especially if he is consistent with his play, which he obviously will be, because he has matured into a dog.
Yes.
That's the thing that, honestly, the thing I am most proud of about Brandon Ayuk actually it is complementary to his production. It is what he does when he doesn't have the football.
Yep.
And honestly, it turned me into a believer into the doghouse.
Yep. Well,
are you a doghouse believer now?
I mean, he's the only one who made it out. I mean,
and now how does he look? Well, he should be a Pro Bowler.
It's like once you go in, can you make it out? Like Dante Pettis didn't make it out. Certain guys didn't make it out.
Where did Dante Pettis make it? I mean,
if they put him in the cat house.
That's so real. They put him in the wrong house.
I mean, damn Kyle, like you gotta play to your personnel. Put him in the cat house, not the dog house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's a shame because I love Dante Pettis as a personality.
Yep.
Like I'm obviously a creative mind. Like I love people who can be a dog and also tap into that. But I have seen the result of Brandon Ayuk, and everyone else who didn't make the cut did not turn out to be a stud.
No.
And I'm a doghouse believer. That's all I'll say.
Well, his draft class. Look at his draft class alone. CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins. I'm sure I'm missing people.
Ruggs.
I mean, Jalen Reagor's in there, but
Ruggs.
that's good God, Ruggs. Oh God, why do we?
Well, I mean, let's be real. Ruggs was.
I wanted Ruggs
could have been a stud.
Yeah,
I did too.
No, I wanted him for the 49ers.
We wanted it for the same reason.
But we're listing these names, and you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, who literally is the leader in almost every category right now at this point. And that's the thing. It's there's only so many spots for the Pro Bowl. 49er fans shouldn't take it as a slight. It's again, you are living in a world where the best group of wide receivers I feel that have ever played the game are playing at the same time. I'm willing to debate that with anyone. If you have an 80s era, if you have a 90s era, if you have a 2000s era, if you have all those guys that you want to talk about, I'm with it. But I'm looking at guys that right now still haven't even hit their peak. And again, I'm on Ross St. Brown not being here.
Crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Insane to me.
It's crazy that there's not a universe where him and Brandon Ayuk could coexist in a Pro Bowl roster.
100%. But can we talk about the biggest snub? Dre Greenlaw's one of them.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, stop making
He's a dog.
Stop making Make-A-Wish Pro Bowl picks happen with Bobby Wagner. Can we just stop?
Yeah, real.
Can we just stop?
So
Bobby Wagner is going to be in Canton one day. Bobby Wagner is going to be a Hall of Famer one day. But he is not deserving of a Pro Bowl nod at all, right? But the biggest one, Mitch Wisnowski.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Can your punter, even if the play gets called back, run 18, 20 yards? And you know that this is genuine coming from me.
That's so real.
That you know this shit is genuine coming from me. I didn't do this shit just for him. This is coming from me because I mean this shit. Mitch Wisnowski, You got snubbed, pal, and
You
I don't like
did.
that shit at all.
You did, bro. It's fucked up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We gotta get to affirmations.
Let's do it.
I gotta pee so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, you motherfucker.
So
All right.
don't pour you another.
No, dude. Come on, not till after. Okay, here we go.
I've been holding it.
I'm gonna do
I've
my-
been holding it for 30 minutes since I drove here.
I might do my first affirmations from the bathroom. I'm like, no, you think I'm
Well,
joking?
you got the mic. Go.
I know, you're gonna hear it.
Go for it. I'll jump in your spot.
Hold on. Why can't I hear the
Play the music.
I'm playing it. Why can't I
Can't
hear
hear it either.
I know. Hold on. Everyone calm down. Oh, I see why. Maybe. What? Chat, can you hear the music?
Chat, can you hear the affirmation music? The spa music?
I need you right now.
The spa music.
Can you hear the spa music? Bill Ponte, Sam Howe.
Oh no, he said Sam House.
Sourdeath Sam.
But can you hear the music?
Can you hear the music?
Yes, sir. Okay, they can hear it. Go.
All right, No, you go first. I gotta pee.
Okay, cool.
You're gonna hear me piss over him.
Cool.
I swear to God.
Like, I'm gonna look at the camera and I'm gonna get really close while
so
this
fast.
happens.
Hold on.
Go for it. No,
Okay.
go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go
All right,
for it.
go
Go for it.
ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you got to see.
You're gonna hear me piss.
Sourdeath
No, it's
Sam.
fine. Mitch Wisnowski. I know that I talk a lot about draft capital. I know that I talk a lot about like positional value. But you have done nothing but
Sourdeath Sam.
I want to look in the camera and say I apologize. I apologize. And I think the pick is well worth it at this point. You have done nothing but put the 49ers in an advantageous spot.
Sourdeath Sam.
Which I'm choosing to forget. But you have done nothing but put the 49ers in advantageous spots on defense because you have punted the ball well. I mean, there's been 2 times that you have
Sourdeath Sam.
that been called back. I don't think there's any punter in the world that I would trust with a fake punt and running more than you. And is that because of your Australian background?
Sourdeath Sam.
Maybe. But you've done nothing but be an all-pro punter. Forget the Pro Bowl. Don't worry about it, buddy. You're not going to be playing in that game. If they don't name you an all-pro,
Sourdeath Sam.
we will clip this and use it. But if you're not the all-pro punter for the NFC, I will ride. I am going to start the campaign the other way.
Sourdeath Sam.
Wrong. It's the crux of being a good person. I have no problem with saying I got it wrong. But Mitch Wisnowski, I'm sorry, buddy.
Sourdeath Sam.
I love you. Continue to punt the football as far as you can.
Oh man.
Sourdeath Sam.
Brandon Ayuk, user to be in the 100. Got there season.
Sourdeath Sam.
First down today, has any business having. And you're a fucking dog, man. Now you have you next year. I think you're really.
Sourdeath Sam. Sourdeath Sam.
Shout out Brad in general.
Brad
because
Graham?
Absolute mensch. Love that dude so much.
Goated.
He was the first person on affirmations who gave me affirmations.
Sourdeath Sam.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I was blown away.
The music's too loud, they're saying.
Oh, it's too loud. Oh shit, my bad. You couldn't hear me pissing? Maybe that was a blessing.
I mean, it was a blessing. They probably didn't hear what I said about Mitch Wisnowski, which is good. Like, more than anything.
All right, maybe this is better.
And they could totally hear you peeing.
Perfect. That was kind of the goal, dude.
Sourdeath Sam.
What an episode, man.
I
This
know.
has been electric.
I'm disappointed I can't hear the music though. Hold on. Okay, it's restarting. Luckily, it's on a loop.
The music's too loud.
Still?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, just... Did you guys hear me say, like, nice things about Mitch Wisnowski? Or, like, do I have to, like, hold it back
Sam.
myself? Like, it does not have to work.
Can't hear you.
Good. Oh yes, great.
Voters did wish dirty. Okay, people heard you.
God
Music
damn it.
louder than you. Okay.
God damn it.
Whatever. As long as people heard my producer call out.
Here I am praising like special teamers, and now it's
All
like
people
all
hear
goes for
Sourdeath
naught. It all goes for
Sam.
naught. I love it so much.
Anyways, Ayuk, I love you, bro. I am really proud of what you accomplished this season, and it's just the beginning. You are such a dog.
Sourdeath Sam.
As much as I gave Kyle's Doghouse credit, there's only one person who deserves the real credit, which is you, because you dug deep and you took his advice and you made it your own and you made it you.
How many are we done?
I usually do like
Sourdeath
Oh,
Sam.
what?
yeah, so
Oh, okay.
we did 2 so far.
Oh, okay, yeah, we got 2. Okay. Kyle Shanahan, it's your time. This is your time, Bubba.
Sourdeath Sam.
Right? I've never seen an offensive coordinator take heat for a loss in a Super Bowl and the head coach completely skirt all of that. That's what happened in Atlanta, but you took the fall for that. 2019, people want to blame you. Okay. It's your time.
Sourdeath Sam.
I believe in you. I believe in you. You're my coach. Your offensive system is being duplicated across the league. You have the weapons. You've got the quarterback. It's your time. Regardless of how this season plays out, you will always be my coach. You will always be the person that I look to elevate the San Francisco 49ers. What you've done since 2017 is unheard of.
Sourdeath Sam.
In terms of being able to turn around a Chip Kelly offense and putting it in your spot. Kyle Shanahan, look at me. It's your time. It's your time right now.
So real.
It is your time right now.
Sam.
This is it. No more excuses, man. You got the running back, you got the quarterback, you got 2 wide receivers, you got the tight end, you got the best left tackle in the world, you got the defense. Let's get it done. Let's put some narratives to bed.
Sourdeath
Okay?
Sam.
I hate the whole 8-point fourth quarter thing. You came back from 7 against the Los Angeles Rams. It's funny how people want to cherry pick things. It's completely funny.
Sourdeath
But it's your time.
Sam.
I'm looking at you, Kyle. I know you're watching. I know you're not watching film. I know you're not like worried about like this game on Sunday. I know you're watching us. Kyle, get it fucking
Sourdeath
done.
Sam.
I believe in you. I believe in you, and you're the only one who can get this done. I don't want any other coach to be the 49ers coach.
So real. You know who else I'm gonna hit? Well, first of all, shout out Clean Main Street. I literally took your decibel advice and tried to hit it exactly on the volume amount. Steve Wilkes voted higher amongst your peers than Kyle Shanahan in a situation in which people were beginning to call for your job. And you persisted. And you persisted with a swagger, if I may say. When the calls were coming for like, oh, you need to get out of the fucking booth and come down to the field, which by the way, I can't say that was a bad idea.
No,
Because
I mean, obviously
so
the
far
results,
so good,
yeah.
right? You have clearly demonstrated that you've got some motherfucking cojones because amongst your peers,
Sourdeath
you were
Sam.
voted the second best DC, right? That was
Yep. Amongst players.
amongst your peers. Frankly, amongst the soldiers on the ground, you were voted the second best general, which is a hell of a feat, if I say so myself. So to you, I say bravo, because the way I described you is that you were we had a bunch of young, cool stepdads, and you were the old stepdad that we weren't sure about. And we are a lot more sure about you today than we were when we first met you.
You know what? The stepdad's actually cool, man. Like, you know, like he actually brought the cool stuff to the barbecue.
Yeah. I mean, like, we just didn't understand you because we were so used to the rah-rah. You know what I mean? Like, Salah was, like, all up in that
Same
shit.
thing with D'Amico.
And D'Amico, like, he was less, like, there were less shots of cutting to him on the field yelling, but, like, you were still the young dude who clearly was a savant. And shout out, by the way, D'Amico and the Texans. You are building something special there. I am very
Voting for D'Amico for Coach of the Year. All he has to do is win on Saturday. D'Amico, you got my vote, pal.
Yeah, I love you, bro. Like the cool thing about this team is there is a coaching tree now. So shout out to D'Amico. That's fucking dope. So, but in the meantime, Steve Wilkes, you came in. You were the stepdad that we didn't know we needed. and now you're here, and you were voted second best amongst our peers. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
all right, you're the dad that stepped up. So real.
You're the dad that stepped. You're not the dad that was there. The dad who stepped up.
That's right. Any other affirmations? We're halfway through the spa music. I can't hear the spa music, which is interesting.
It's fine as long as they can.
Yeah,
And,
they can.
apparently they heard it too loud.
Yeah, they heard it too
No,
loud.
I'm good. I got what was off my chest about Mitch Wisnowski, and I wanted to make sure Kyle Shanahan knows that I love him, and we wouldn't be here without him. Regardless of what anybody
real.
says, man, I don't care, man. If Kyle Shanahan got fired today, 22 other teams would fire their coach immediately.
Oh my God.
And just sign Kyle Shanahan. Like, and you know what? I think I'm like putting that number like way too low, like more than anything. But Kyle Shanahan.
Sourdeath Sam.
Saddle up your seat, Bucko. You're not leaving anywhere. Like, get it done though. This year, get it done, so we can just like knock all that shit off, and then we can just look at you as the top coach, like the guy that's like the Belichick that everybody wants. Well, you know what? You're not fucking going anywhere, pal. You're not going anywhere. Just
We're locking you in, dude. We're getting you.
lock it in. Lock it in. Yeah, lock it in. No plan B. Lock it in. Lock it the fuck in. Lock it in.
Let me ask you something. Can you quickly just like, if anyone did not hear it, because it honestly was a very big moment. It was probably the most breaking news of this whole show.
Yeah.
Can you just quickly give the cliff notes of what you said
About
Mitch Wisnowski?
Yeah, look, Mitch. I said a lot about you with a fourth round pick. I don't like the idea of kickers being taken anywhere. I don't think that's going to change, but I do think that right now, this season, if you're not an All-Pro, it doesn't make any sense. And if anybody who's voting on that doesn't understand, I don't get what you're looking at. Like, it's hard for people to automatically say that they're wrong about something. Not for me. I'd rather be wrong, get it right, than be someone who is trying to like run through something and just keep it. But yeah, Mitch, keep it going, buddy. No other punter could run for as many yards as you have that have been unused, because you did it against Pittsburgh in Week 1. You did it in that game that was called back. I would trust you 10 out of 10 times if I was asking a punter to run for 10 plus yards, because you got that dog in you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna dig through these comments. Let's see if there's any last words. We got one. What does it say? Rory, shout out. Could Kyle make Jalen Hurts more of a push merchant?
Nope, he couldn't. I fear he couldn't. I fear he couldn't. And you know what's funny about Jalen Hurts is the signs were all there last year that he couldn't read a field, but they ran a bunch of RPOs, which were, hey, if you pull the ball out of the running back's belly, there's a throw for you. I think we need to start putting some fucking respect on Shane Steichen.
Yes, sir.
No, I mean, you hit the right button. You hit the right button.
A fart in a yes, sir?
Yeah, no, it's
All
a fart. But no, the fart is perfect, because Jalen Hurts needs Shane Steichen. And Shane Steichen, if you look at his team, is one game away from making the playoffs. And he had Anthony Richardson looking crazy. And that was during the time that he was there. All he got to do is win one more game with Gardner Minshew, and Shane Steichen's going to make the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is crazy out here, aside from tush pushes from the one. Ooh, couldn't be my quarterback.
I know. And Rory made a good point. The one last thing I'll say before we start to sign off here is that Mitch Wishnowski's interview after his run was amazing. And I already did the impression of him, but like the fact that he was just the fact that he knows how much of a control freak that Kyle Shanahan is, but his rugby instincts just
he nailed it though.
Dominated his cerebral cortex. We're like, all right, mate,
and
we're
poor
going to
Ronnie
decision
Bell, all he
tonight.
did was fall over. He did the right thing.
Yeah,
he did the right thing.
Well, obviously, because he fucking crushed it.
So it's like Major League. Have you ever seen Major League?
Yeah.
All right, so he would have gotten that first down, and he would have been like, "Nice fucking catch, Hayes. Don't ever fucking do it again." That's Kyle Shanahan, literally like telling.
That was
Mr.
Charlie
Dusty.
Sheen, right?
Yeah, no, it was Wesley Snipes catching the basket catch. So he catches the basket catch and he comes in and the manager grabs him and he's like, "Nice fucking catch, Hayes. Don't ever fucking do it again." Like that's literally what he would have told Mitch Wisnowski
Facts.
if he would have scored or if he would have got the first down. He would have literally just like told him the same exact thing, like the same exact thing.
So real, dude. What a good time that was. That interview was the most hilarious shit I have seen in a very long time. All right, let me just hit this clean industry interview. Shout out you two for the effort you put in. SDS, you are the most Sourdeath Sam, you are the most underrated content creator in the game. Keep it up, my guy. Hey, dude,
Hey.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you,
Man, what you mean,
I
bro?
appreciate
What you
you.
mean? This man said he's coming to New York, and I'm gonna sit here and not go. Like, what you mean, bro? Like, dead ass. I'm gonna use all my New York. Like, I'm gonna use dead ass, yo. Like, what we talking about?
Bacon,
blood?
egg, and cheese.
Yeah, what we talking about, blood? We about to get a bacon, egg, and cheese right after this shit. Blood, what the fuck you mean? Like, yo, nah. Patrick, it's always a vibe. Yeah, just knock it off. Just
Oh yeah, I got this. There's still 10 people logged in.
yeah, there are because they want to see what's
Oh,
going
this.
on.
This. Oh, you hit your head on the
Yep,
fucking
I sure
post.
did.
Oh
God
no.
They
This,
heard your peeing.
they heard my peeing and they
Yeah.
thought I was alive. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I have unfortunate news. Jason Aponte has died from blunt force trauma
From hitting
of a pipe
on his head. Oh my
on
god.
the ceiling.
Fuck.
Let me see here. Ladies and gentlemen, and then Jason Aponte receiving blunt force trauma from a fire pipe on the ceiling.
Fuck.
And they can see you in the mirror. This is hilarious.
Yeah. Fuck, it hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is over, but I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in to 49ers Public Access with Sourdeath Sam with Jason Aponte in the mirror, live from New York, Brooklyn. We are so grateful for you tuning in. We hope you had a great time this evening, and we wish you a very nice evening and a very interesting Sunday with none of our starters starting.
Everything hurts.
Good night.